Hello everybody, I hope you're having a really great week. Today is Tuesday. I would like to post this announcement for you so you can have a little bit of help on your love letter. That is our first writing assignment that we'll be turning in, and it's starting this week. I realize that some of you early birds may already have started looking at this and brainstorming for it. That's awesome. Some people may still be just about to get started. So whatever stage you're at in writing this love letter, I hope that you can return to this video to help you clarify what you've written, help you edit, help you dig a little bit deeper, and you can just return here as often as you need to give you some ideas. So hopefully this is helpful no matter where you're at. Okay, so let's talk about our love letter due dates. I put them all here in one space for you. Wednesday, May 2nd, that's this week. Lesson 2 midweek deadline, your first draft is due. You'll just turn that in as a submission and kind of show you where you can do that. Thursday, the next day, you're taking your first draft to your gathering. Remember to print out 3 copies and also 1 copy of the rubric. Wednesday, May 9th, so about a week later, your second draft is due. The next day you're doing this and you're taking it to your gathering again. So you have lots and lots of time to peer review. I hope that is so helpful for you. Collaboration is a really big part of writing, so be sure to put some time into that. And then your final draft is due Saturday, May 12th. So that's a little while. You have a couple weeks to work on it. And that is the end of week lesson 3. So there you have it. All the times you're turning in a draft of your love letter. Okay, let's talk about resources for working on it. You'll see here I have a picture of our contents tab where you can sort of navigate down and look at everything that we're doing this week. Here is where you can click on this link and it will take you to your instructions for your love letter. So be sure to look here. I have also put tips for you on working on your love letter on the week 2 intro announcement that was posted on Thursday of last week. So if you haven't taken the time to read that, please do so, and that will help you also. Here is where you go when you click on that link. It will give you can click on all of those drop downs right here, and it will give you even more information on writing your love letter. This is going to be super helpful for you. There are some student examples that you can look at to kind of just give you some backbone of looking at what other work people have done, and that will be very helpful for you. If you scroll down further on this page, that is where the link is located for you to turn in your draft on Wednesday. So that's where you can head for that. Okay, the other thing I want you to look at, and you can look at this here, the rubric is also, there's a link to that on this page, but here is the rubric for how I will be grading your love letter. So take a look at all this and just kind of keep it in your mind as you're brainstorming. One thing that I'd like you to pay attention to is that 20 points of your 100-point score is given for addressing the object directly. So in this love letter, you're going to be picking a thing and saying, "Dear thing, I love you so much," and you're going to use the word you. So you're not writing about something, you're writing to something. The reason that this is done this way is because we want you to establish it'll sound silly, but we want you to establish a level of intimacy with this object that you're writing about. And I think that is a great first assignment for you because it's going to teach you to be invested in what you're writing about. It's going to show you how fun it can be and how this kind of informal writing project can be something that hopefully is fun for you to write about if it's something that you're kind of emotionally connected to. So use the word you, and hopefully that will help you to feel kind of excited about this object that you're writing about. So, and if you want an example of that, again, look at the student examples. Okay, other resources for working on the love letter. Once you've read through all the, what am I trying to say? Everything that you're supposed to be doing for this assignment. Be sure that if you'd like to, if you're looking for a place to get more information on this, you can always go to the BYU Idaho Online Writing Center. There is the link right there. You can do that this week or next week once you're happy with your draft, and give them some time for you to get a little feedback on that, and that will be a great resource. Okay, so your love letter. It is about 250 words. You are going to address an object, something that's important to you, and tell it why you love it. Let's talk really briefly about your organization for this. If you read the section earlier this week on paragraphs, that will be a helpful place for you to start in learning about organization. When we talk about organization in a paper, it's just meaning how the writer goes about directing his audience, his or her audience, through the paper. So how well are you putting everything in the paper in a good spot to help everyone know where you're trying to go? Okay, so I have these two little silly pictures of a road map. If you're just focusing on this picture on the left, you'll see, okay, cool, I'm on a road, but where am I going? I don't know. Just like if you were driving and you wanted to know how many miles were left to get to Jacksonville, you'd need to know, well, I have 70 miles left, and that would be helpful for you. But without those signs, you're kind of confused, right? So these signs are kind of going to be, think of them as a paragraph. So if this road is your paper, on the right-hand picture, you can see that every road map, every road sign, is kind of a paragraph where I'm going to lead my audience along. So your first paragraph, or your first road sign, might just be you telling me, okay, what am I writing about? You need to sort of, don't jump into the fact that I'm totally going to know what it is. Maybe you're going to write about your motorcycle. So, dear Suzuki, blue Suzuki motorcycle. I don't know anything about motorcycles. I'm just making this up. But tell them what it is. Your second paragraph, you might describe that motorcycle. And that's going to set your audience up to kind of have that object in your mind so that they can be on the same page as what you're writing about. So, and you don't have to set it up like this. This is just one way. Your third road map, you might kind of tell, again, you don't have to do it this way, but let's say the next road sign that you want to put in there is you want to tell somebody what's your history with the object. Blue Suzuki motorcycle, you were a gift from my dad on my 18th birthday, and that is important to me because of blah, blah, blah. That might be where you lead them. So then you have another paragraph about that. Your next road sign, it might tell you why did this motorcycle change you, and that's going to be connected again to why you love it. So I hope this is clear for you. You're just kind of going to lead your audience through all of the qualities or all the wonderful things about this object that you've chosen, and you're going to tell your audience where you're going. So let's look at an example of that. I took this straight from one of the student examples that's on the site, so you can look at this. These are just the first couple of paragraphs. So the student starts out, Dear Georgia Mission. Okay, right there off the bat. He's being direct, and he's directly addressing this object, and he's telling me what it is. Okay, that's nice. So first paragraph, you are a thief, you stole my heart and won't give it back. The times we spent together on my mission were a rush. From you comforting me on nights I wasn't sure I would make it, to celebrating with me as we watched people enter into eternal happiness as they were baptized. Okay, so what does this paragraph do? Go through and ask, what is this paragraph? How does it function? Well, the first paragraph is kind of all about describing the author's emotional connection to the object, to his Georgia mission, and you can see that he also gives specific examples. So he talks about baptism. He gives you this great image of baptism and him being, sleepless nights. But that's all what that paragraph about. He doesn't say, he doesn't talk about the end of his mission and then a bunch of companions. He sticks to one subject, which is his emotional connection with his mission. The second paragraph, you've made me the man I am today, but now it's time for us to depart. So that's kind of his first sentence, is his topic sentence, and you'll learn about that this week. And everything in that paragraph follows that topic sentence. So what's this paragraph about? Well, it's about how they have to part, right? He has to leave his mission, and also how that parting will affect the writer. So if you go all the way down, everything in that paragraph can be referred back to that basic idea. Even this last sentence, you seem to know exactly what I needed on those days. You can refer it back to this first sentence in the paragraph. You have made me the man I am today, right? So we're talking about parting, but how that parting, why that parting matters. Everything in that paragraph is about that. So I would like to invite you to go through that student example paper and try and figure out what is the topic of each paragraph, because they each have one. And then when you go through and write your paper, all your paragraphs should have one topic as well so that you can lead your audience through. Okay, so let's talk about writing with clarity. One thing I'd like to address here is be specific. Okay, so we're going to talk about another object you could write about. You could say, Dear dishes, I'm going to write about some dishes, whatever. You're so pretty, and owning something pretty always made me feel special. That's a good start. We've talked about their emotional connection to this object, and we've talked about, they've described the object as being pretty. But what if you said, dear bone china with painted periwinkles? Okay, what's easier to visualize? Some random dishes? I mean, these could be plastic dishes, right? I wouldn't know. But this is specific. So bone china, painted periwinkles. I can totally envision that, right? So then I go to talking about, and sometimes I'm not sure how I come to own something so delicate. When my grandmother unexpectedly presented you to me on my wedding day, I knew your timeless beauty would always connect me to the people who came before me. So why do they make me feel special? That gave me a sense of belonging even when I wasn't sure who I was or where I wanted to belong. Okay, so I've given a sense of not only feeling special, but why do I feel special? Because they connect me to the people who came before me, right? They're not only pretty, but they're also delicate, and they have these gorgeous periwinkles on them. So you can see how I can expand this upward example to be something with specific examples. I've also not just said that you do make me special, but I've given a specific example of why they are special. I also described how they were given to me on my wedding day. So I've been really, really specific. Specific is always, always more memorable than general writing. So if you go through and you brainstorm and you do a little bit of general writing, always go through and say, what could I say that's more specific? Because specific will be memorable for your audience. Here's another hint about how to write with clarity and how to be specific. Okay, so this is, if you're struggling, this is where you can do. Brainstorm. Brainstorm is just a fancy way of saying, think about it, get a lot of different ideas so you can know where you want to go. I would like you to ask yourself some questions about your object. You pick your motorcycle or your dishes or whatever. Ask yourself some questions. How did you become acquainted with the object? How has it changed you, and how does that make you feel? What made the object special? When did you realize this is what you wanted to write about? So when did something pop into your head and you just said, oh, I have to write about this. So why did you feel that way? Describe that to me and be specific. Where do you use the object? Describe the place, right? Where did I get my dishes? At a wedding. So having that knowledge that these dishes came from a wedding, way more specific, and it shows my audience how important they are, right? Okay, why is a big one. If you're going to focus on just one of these questions, do why. So why do you love the object so much? Have a conversation with your spouse or your child or a friend. Have them ask you, why is this important to you? And you'll probably hear yourself talking out loud, well, it's important to me because it makes me feel this way. Or, my mission changed me because I learned so much. I learned A, B, C. Those specific why things are what we want to see. Why would you be different without this object, right? This can be something silly as well. On our first announcement for this week, I posted you could write about a magic eraser because your toddlers are always drawing on the walls. So why do you love that object so much? Well, I love it because it works really well, right? I love Magic Eraser also because it gives me a sense of I can fix everything, even though it's hard to have toddlers. Why do I love Magic Eraser? Because it helps me know that I can have some control over my crazy life, right? So ask yourself why. Okay, hopefully this was helpful for you. And hopefully this gives you a little bit of a direction to go as you write about your love letter. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. And good luck. Thanks. Have a good week.